wasn't a long time ago. We were just on the air, but I'm still ready to share and do what nobody else was there. We talk about brothers and sisters that no longer talking. I can understand when I'm walking around and I see people who ain't down to share the same bloodline. Yo, crazy thing you can find. And I'm wondering, what made y'all stop speaking? Yo, we like the weekend that we are here is the first of the month. I'm talking to you, Claire. Me and my brothers are on point, but it couldn't all be that way. And I say, I don't understand how things get bad up in the family that making people mad enough to stop being on speaking terms. And we gonna talk about the thing right now. Go and learn. What's up with y'all, man? Urban Therapy with Sun 752. And today on the Urban Therapy with Sun show, we are talking about the reasons brothers and sisters stop speaking to each other. The reasons that brothers and sisters stop speaking to each other. If you look on the internet, if you search the internet, if you surf the internet, you will see a whole lot of people who seem to share animosity towards their family members. A whole lot of people who are not speaking to family members. They'll tell you that their friends are closer than family, and you can tell that there's a soft spot there. You know, there's some pain there. But when you really think about it, your brothers and sisters, your blood brothers and sisters should have probably been your biggest supporters at any time in your life. Those are the ones that fought with you. Maybe y'all fought against each other and taught each other, trained each other how to beat everybody else. Y'all were each other's alliance, even when y'all were angry with each other or not getting along with each other so well. Well, nobody else better come in here and try to regulate because that's my brother. We gonna keep things straight. So yeah, the reason that brothers and sisters stop speaking to each other, like I said, if you look on the internet nowadays, you will see a whole lot of people expressing pain, expressing animosity, expressing resentment about the way that their blood family members treat them. And when we start talking about brothers and sisters, can we be talking about any closer of a family member? We can talk about our parents all day, every day, but our parents aren't from our generation. Our parents were here before we got here. Our parents raised us and gave us the value system and the moral code and whatever else we use to navigate through this life. They gave that to us. Our brothers and sisters are our peers. They are the ones that we grew up with, that we learned things with, that we competed with, that we competed against. Those were our closest alliances. You know, when people spoke about our family, when they spoke about us individually, they would say things like, that's such and such's little brother, or that's such and such's big brother, or that's such and such's big or little sister. That's how we identified with our friends. And speaking of friends, many brothers and sisters had the same friends. You know, when I was growing up, we would identify brothers and sisters when it was time for us to play, when it was time for us to play sports and participate in activities and even go places. Well, see if Jimmy and Joe can go. It wasn't never just Jimmy. It wasn't ever just Joe. See what Jimmy and Joe are doing. Yo, let's go over Jimmy and Joe house or see if they can come out and play. Those kinds of things. And I say Jimmy and Joe because those were actually my friends that lived on my block. So I remember Curtis and Ricky. Yeah, Rick and Curtis. Yeah, Rick and Curtis was around, you know, because often you saw brothers or sisters around the same places, hanging out with each other. Sometimes they had to babysit each other. They definitely had to look out for each other and were responsible for each other. As far as your parents were concerned, you know, if your little brother or your little sister got into some trouble, or they got bullied, or they got into a fight, or they got hurt, you had to answer for it. So how did it happen? How does it happen to where y'all are so close, whether y'all wanted to be or not? Because a lot of times when you're younger, you resent the fact that you have to help your brothers and sisters, that you have to do things for your siblings and things like that. And you may not feel as close when you're younger because you might be striving for independence, or secrecy or privacy. And your brothers and sisters might be the direct thing that's keeping you from having any privacy, having any way to get free, so to speak. So that's what we're talking about today on the Urban Therapy with Son Show, man. I'm so glad to be here. I'm feeling like a real man should. I hope y'all feel like real men and women should also on this Saturday, March 2nd. We are rolling this Saturday. We already into the month of March. Spring is in the air, even though it's raining where I am. Where I am right now is coming down. Hold on. We can't entertain these games right now. So yeah, it's coming down out here. You know, a little rain. It's been raining since last night, whatever. But you know, as we get older, many of us start to appreciate our siblings more. We start to be able to put into perspective the crazy things that we may have done when we were younger, the reasons that we may have done, you know, watching each other grow up, seeing the things that each other are going through, helping each other through it and things like that. Some brothers and sisters actually help each other out and are there for each other and protect each other and defend each other. But evidently, there's a large segment of the population where that did not happen, does not happen, will not happen, has not happened. So maybe there's some resentment there. But what can happen between a brother and a sister to make them stop talking to each other for good? Like, no, I don't have anything to say to him or her, and I'm not going to have anything. Yeah. So, brothers and sisters look out for each other. They remember things about each other growing up, reminiscing and things like that. It's not always positive, but a lot of times it is. And so what has to happen between a brother and a sister to make them stop talking to each other? You know, does the resentment finally come to the surface? Now, we want to talk about a whole lot of different examples and scenarios that might have a big influence on making brothers and sisters stop talking to each other. And I'm going to be honest with you, that kind of hurts my heart. My siblings are very important to me. They are. I don't speak to all of them, and I have a lot of them. I don't speak to all of them all the time on a regular basis, but the ones that I'm close to, I try to make sure that we always are in contact and everything like that, because, you know, they are your closest family members when you really think about it. If you grew up broke or poor or, you know, without really having any means growing up, you probably had to share clothes with your brothers and sisters, shoes and socks with your brothers and sisters, share a room with your brothers and sisters, share a bed with your brothers and sisters. Y'all shared personal items. There may have been times when there was absolutely no privacy. So y'all got to know each other on a deeper level, a level that cannot be duplicated ever in another time in your life. You're never going to experience a time in your life where you were forced to be as close with anyone as you were with your brothers and sisters. Think about it. Think about it. If you had a bunch of brothers and sisters like they used to have back in the day, you know the families were big back in the day. So you come from a family of 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And y'all don't have a house with 10 or a dozen bedrooms. You may come from a house where there are 3 bedrooms. If you're lucky, it was 8 of y'all and you have 4 bedrooms. If you were lucky. So, you know, some of y'all sleeping down the basement. Some of y'all might be sleeping in the shed kitchen. You know it ain't no heat in the shed kitchen. Y'all had to make heat in the shed kitchen. Don't think about no freaky shit. I'm talking about maybe a space heater, maybe a kerosene heater, something, a wood burning stove. It depends on how far you go back. Yeah, bunk beds. One at the head of the bed, one at the foot of the bed. Y'all sleeping, like sardines. One laying this way, the other one laying that way. You know what I'm talking about. You probably will never have to do that at another time in your life unless you go to jail. And even in jail, they're only two to a cell. They don't have a bunch of people like that. So, when you have to share close quarters with somebody in that vein, you get close to them. Uncomfortably close to them sometimes. Imagine somebody knowing the first time you discovered yourself sexually. And I ain't talking about having sex. I'm talking about got caught whacking off. Be like, yo, you doing it? You do that too? Or show me how to do. What are you doing? Why are you doing that? Why are you hitting yourself in the groin? Crazy shit. Crazy stuff like that, really. So, you're probably never going to be in another situation where you share each other voluntarily and involuntarily like that. So how can you go from being that close to somebody to not being on speaking terms with them voluntarily? Like, I don't have nothing to say to my brother, my sister, better not ever darken my door. I said, they might not, we not close no more. We not close no more. How does it happen? That's what we're talking about today on the Urban Therapy with Sun Show. Let's get it popping. Urban Therapy with Sun 752, and this is the Urban Therapy with Sun Show. We do this every single Saturday from 1 p.m. till around 2:30-ish. And the reason that we say 2:30-ish is because sometimes it gets so heated that we just have to do a little OT on a Saturday. And it is Saturday. This is the show where adults come out and play with adults. We laugh, we cry, we argue, fuss, and fight, go back and forth with each other. Bust it up all crazy. We take an introspective look into our own personality to see the way that the universe projects us into this thing called the world and try to figure out this thing called life. I'm your host, Sun 752, aka Omar with the and if you can't say Omar with the well, then you just say Omar with the R. So, what up, my peoples? Man, y'all come on up in here, man. We're going to talk about why brothers and sisters stop talking to each other. Are you currently in a situation where you have a brother or sister and you ain't spoke to him in years and you ain't planning to speak to him no time soon? And that's your brother and your sister, and that's that's your brother and your sister, and you do. And come on, man. You're not going to tell me that there's not a soft spot there. I mean, I don't care what the reason is, and we're definitely going to talk about some of the reasons. But regardless of what the reason is, it's going to weigh heavily on you emotionally because y'all used to be close. Even if y'all wasn't super, super close as much as you were to one or two or your brothers and sisters, y'all were close. There's a closeness there. That's how family goes. So, what could happen? What could happen in your family, in your life, in your love, to make you stop talking to your brothers and sisters? Let's get to it. Let's go through it. Man, let me shout out my peoples here. My brother from another mother, Norris Hill. Sit back, relax, do your thing, Max, and chill. Good to see you here, my brother. Thanks for coming on through. You know what time it is, and you know how we do. Yeah, and Carol Chamberlain, me friend, me favorita. Always a good thing to see ya. That's right. Hit the like button, share the show, subscribe to the channel. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, this is the Daily Go. This is the Urban Therapy with Sun Show. So come on up in here, man. Let's have this talk. And by the way, you can call into the show if you would like to express yourself, get on the microphone, talk your shit, give your story, tell us what happened, dispute a claim. I invite you to call in, and the number to call is area code 319-527-6199. That's the number to call. I said a 319-527-6199. Yes, y'all. I said a 319-527-6199. Yeah, get on the line. I said a 319-527-6199. Yeah, get your shine, brother. Get your shine, baby. Get your shine, baby. 319-527-6199. Call in and let's get this thing popping. All right. So that's right, hit the like button. Good looking out, Carol. And Obek Imastov. Izmatov. Ogabek Izmatov. Thanks for coming through, my brother. I appreciate it. Carol said we ain't gonna be letting nobody ask. You know what? Don't delete them. Let them come through. Cause listen. You know I got something for them. Yeah, I mean, it's all right. They can say whatever they want. Some people come on, they just want a little attention. They just want, they want to say hi, but they don't know how to say hi. So they want to break up the party a little bit. But it ain't gonna happen. We good. All right. So what can happen? What has to happen for you to stop talking to your brother or your sister for good? I know people who are going through it right now. I definitely know people who went through it before. I've known people who went through it before and they got it together. Is it a miscommunication issue? You would think that with your brother and your sisters, you would be able to communicate with them on a higher level, on a more direct level. Because y'all grew up with each other, saying whatever y'all needed to with each other. I'll bet you the first person that you ever cursed at in your life was probably your brother or your sister. I'll bet you it was. They probably did something. Practical jokes. Hit you with something. Did something to you that you didn't like. But like, motherfucker, what's wrong with you? Oh, you cursed. I'm telling. Brothers and sisters grow up in the same house. They get to telling on each other. There's a difference between telling on each other and snitching on each other. You know what I mean? Snitching is a greater severity of telling on somebody. When you just told on somebody, you may have told on them to prevent any and everybody else from getting in trouble. When you snitched on somebody, it was like, yo, nobody knew about that. Nobody was going to know, and nobody was going to get hurt. And you just told for your own personal edification. What we doing? What I'm doing? All right. So what has to happen to make you stop talking to your brothers and sisters? Now, things can happen in a family that can make brothers and sisters stop talking to each other. Sometimes when you're growing up, there can be certain things that will that you may resent your brothers or sisters doing to you, with you, around you. For example, if you had a brother or sister that was abusive, and I don't mean, that would pick on you, tease you, and just always wanted to get into fights with you. I'm talking about straight up abusive to the point where you began to hate your brother or your sister. Like maybe they were older than you and they were violent beyond what's normal. They weren't just picking on you. They weren't just poking fun. They were actually trying to hurt you, trying to take you down, trying to, do things to you to demoralize you and make your life a living hell. And maybe that never stopped. Maybe it never stopped, and maybe they never acknowledged it. Maybe they never admitted it. Maybe they never apologized. And you know how that can go. If somebody other than your brothers and sisters never acknowledges anything that they did to you or the way that they made you feel, you will probably cut them off or stop dealing with them or put them in the category of somebody that you used to be friends with. Well, evidently it happens with brothers and sisters also. The difference with brothers and sisters is that there are normally other brothers and sisters or parents or other family members that try to step in and moderate and mediate and try to be a bridge between the two of you. If people find out, sometimes family members don't find out that certain family members are not talking to each other. And then we're talking about brothers and sisters. We're talking about brothers and sisters that probably used to be around each other constantly when they were growing up. They probably used to be around each other constantly growing up. Like I was saying, I grew up with brothers names like Jimmy and Joe. sisters like I'll say this. Tina and Tanya. I grew up with siblings like that. And they were close. So when we wanted to play sports, when we wanted to climb a tree, when we wanted to play hide and go seek, when we wanted to play tag, we went and got those brothers or those sisters groups. They added to the group tally, you know. And when we hardly ever said one's name without the other, because we were all in together. That's how close we were. Now I'm trying to imagine those groups of siblings not talking to each other to this day. Like, it wouldn't make sense to me as an outsider. It wouldn't make sense. But you never know what's going on inside of the house. But kids know what's going on with their friends. We do. We know. Like, yo, man, boy, you know, or that girl, she's, you know, I was over their house when I saw this, and they. Let's talk about that for a minute. How many of y'all remember being over your friends' houses and seeing things and hearing things in their house that probably outsiders shouldn't have heard? You ever been over your friend's house and see how they parents are? Like, you knew who parents got high. You knew whose parents drunk too much. You know whose parents, you know, didn't keep a clean house. You know whose parents would let their kids do whatever they wanted to do. You know whose parents spoiled their kids. You knew whose parents didn't seem to I'm not gonna say they neglected their children, but they didn't have a lot of direct supervision over their kids. They was just home doing whatever. You would be over your friends' houses because that was a big part of growing up for us. We beat over each other's houses. We spent the night over each other's houses. We knew what parents could cook, what parents always ordered out. TV dinners and shit. Swanson TV dinners, you know, with the cherry pie, and the Salisbury steak. Yeah, we spent the night over Jimmy and Joe's house, man. You know what I mean? We had mom ain't cooked that night. You know, she made some good chicken, but she ain't cooked that night. We had the Swanson. We had the TV dinners. I ain't like the peas. The mashed potatoes was all right. The cherry pie was everything. It was everything, man. It was everything. We knew about our friends. We knew about their home life. So we could speak on certain things that people who weren't over their houses all the time couldn't speak about. We could. We knew. We heard the conversations. We knew who parents were having problems with each other, like mom and dad. You know. We also knew whose parents was a little bit frisky, a little freaky. Like, yo, I was over Terry in them house. And we heard they mom and they dad doing it. What? Like, yo, man, for real. Yo, we was watching the Dukes of Hazzard. When the Dukes of Hazzard went off, we hearing all this moaning and screaming. We were like, what the hell? Yo, they was in there doing it. We was listening at the door. It might have been too young to be embarrassed. And that's, you know, that's close family business. But if you were over there, you heard that kind of stuff. So you might have been more like another brother or another sister added on to the family if you were close like that. So when you are that close to other people's brothers and sisters and things like that family dynamic, and then you see later on they stop talking to each other, you might be like, yo, I never thought I would see them not speaking to each other, not being cool with each other, not being close with each other. I never thought I would see that. Do y'all know what I'm talking about? If you do, and you want to talk about it, call 319-527-6199. 319-527-6199. You can call. It won't have an effect on your it's a regular number. Anyway, what up, Cherry? What's going on? Now hold on. What we got here? Uh-oh. Carol Chamberlain says, me, I'm people tired of being used and abused. I understand. I do. Cherry is in the house. Thanks for coming on through. Cinderella Dana Dane. And Carol says, I stopped because I got tired of being a walking ATM. Financial. We can talk about financial reasons why brothers and sisters might not be talking to each other anymore, and that can be a issue really close to your heart. Like if you've lost a parent and there was an insurance settlement, or there was a living will, or there wasn't a living will, and there were assets and things to, y'all might not have had a whole lot, but whatever you had, somebody wants and somebody got it, and it wasn't the state. Funeral arrangements and who pitched in and who contributed and who helped and who participated. Those are one of the things that really have separated siblings over the years. Y'all might have been on shaky speaking terms before a funeral, and then after a funeral, or because of a funeral, it might have been like on the movie Soul Food. You know how Big Mama kept the family together. Well, your mom or your dad might have been the big mama that kept y'all together, that moderated, that made sure that y'all didn't stop talking, that would make y'all talk to each other, make y'all interact with each other, make y'all snap the beans together. It might have been that way. And then when she was gone, then there wasn't no referee between y'all. There was nobody to get y'all out of the clinch. It was nobody to tell you to go to that corner and you go to that corner. There was nobody to do that. And on top of that, somebody got the house. And somebody else felt like they should have got the house, or at least a piece of the house. And on top of that, mommy had, or daddy, or granddad, or somebody had a couple of dollars. They used to save a lot. What happened to the stash? I know for a fact that mommy had $20,000 put away. I know it. What happened to the money? Where's the money? Well, mommy told me that she moved the money. I don't know where it's at. You lying. Because the thing that she had the money in is missing. Where it go? I don't know what you're talking about. Shit like that. Cherry says, a toxic mother can keep you from dealing with your siblings because she didn't teach everyone how to get. So in that way, she's actually contributing to y'all not getting along, not speaking anymore. And that does happen. And it's sad. It's sad. It happens. It absolutely does happen. I think that parents have an obligation to make sure that their kids look out for each other, and that they understand that they're supposed to be a team. Y'all all got the same last name, usually. And see, well, I gotta say usually, because everybody's family dynamic ain't the same. That's why I wrote the show up the way I wrote it. And if y'all not on to how I wrote it, I'm going to read it to you. I said, brothers and sisters grow up together in the same house. Usually. Not all the time. They may share the same toys, clothes, experiences, friends, and possibly attention. They have the same parents. Well, most of the time, because they don't always have the same parents. Sometimes they only have the same mother. Sometimes they only have the same father. But if they grew up in the same house, more than likely they had the same mother, but not all the time. Not all the time. I've definitely seen differences. We say they hung out with each other and loved each other. Most of the time, but not all of the time. Not all of the time. So what can happen to make them stop talking to each other? Well, a lot of things. If you resented the way that your parents made you interact with your brothers and sisters, you might have taken that out on your brothers and sisters. Like if you wanted to go out on dates, okay, for example, my big sister, my oldest sister used to have to take me on dates when she went to the movies and things like that. She had to take me. I'm sure she was, that wasn't a popular choice with her. But my big sister brainwashed me. She brainwashed me to never tell, and I never told. And the things that I seen, sometimes your older brothers and sisters try to make you forget things or they get on their high horse when they get older. You know what I mean? Take their shahada, become born again Christians and all of that. And they try to erase your past is one thing. Changing your past is another thing. Trying to make you forget about the past, that's a whole nother thing. Yeah, that's a whole nother thing. Because I remember, I know what I saw. I could have told. Bottom line is, if she was another kind of person, she would have really, really blamed me. She might have blamed me for having to take me to the movies, take me on a date. It was always the movies, though. And don't let it be an arcade. I was like, man, we had a ball, didn't we? They in the movie. I'm sitting over here. They over there in the movies, all hugged up, kissed up, smooching. They damn near copulating in the movie theater. I ain't saying shit. I'm like, yo, we went to go see The Thing. You remember the movie The Thing? So that tells you how far I go back. We saw The Thing. We saw Sparkle. We saw Abby. This tells you how far we go back. But me and my oldest sister was like that because I went and because she knew that I would look the other way. They was grown kids. Me and my oldest sister was 8 years apart. So they were grown kids to me. They wasn't in my age frame. They was going to the disco. Yeah, there was a movie called Abby back in the day. Way back in the day, like 75, 76, 77, something like that. And Abby cut herself with a knife, and the spirit of the devil got into her bloodstream, and Abby was tripping. Hold on. You know what? I never looked up the movie Abby since then. Let me see. Abby was a black movie. Let me see. Okay. 1974. Damn. Look at this shit. Whoa. Okay, hold on. It says here in Wikipedia, Abby is a 1974 American blaxploitation horror film about a woman who is possessed by a Yoruba sex spirit. The film stars Carol Speed as the title character, William H. Marshall, and Terry Carter. It was directed by William Girdler, who co-wrote the film's story with screenwriter Gordon Cornell Lane. Look at this shit. Hold on. Can y'all see? That was Abby. I remember going to go see Abby. Carol, you remember Abby? The budget for this movie was $100,000 and it made $2.6 million. So that was kind of a big movie. Especially for a blaxploitation flick. It did okay. I never saw this movie again. Ever. I never saw it on TV, DVD, VHS, beta. Okay, you never saw it either? All right. But anyway, if she was a different evil, I'm talking about my biggest sister. My big sister, if she was an evil type of character, she would have resented. She might have resented having to take me. And maybe because I was 7.5 years, 8 years younger than her, you know what I mean? She could have smacked me around, threatened me, told me not to tell. I was very, very abusable back then. Like, you could If you told me not to tell, I wasn't telling. You didn't even have to tell me. I wasn't the kind of kid that was like a parrot. I didn't talk about everything that I knew and everything that happened. Like I kind of had this innate internal sense of what's supposed to be kept secret and what's not. So I ain't, I saw all kinds of foul shit. When I think about it, I wasn't a street kid, but I grew up around a lot of street shit in intervals. And it's weird because, like I said, I wasn't a street kid. I didn't. You see what you see. You experience what you experience. Care Bear, thanks for coming through here. Good to see you. Thanks for sharing. All right. Carol says, one of my brothers always took me out with his dates. And you probably saw shit you ain't had no business seeing. Probably. Nora says, you saw The Thing while doing The Thing. John Carpenter movie. Up at the North Pole. Aliens, monster aliens. Yes, hey, The Thing. Ooh, The Thing. Was it a horror? Was it a thriller? I don't know. Okay, Cherry says, I was too young for a horror film. Man, that's all I grew up on. That's why I can't stand them now, because I'm like, this shit ain't scary. They maxed me out. By the time I was 13, I couldn't stand a horror film. I'm like, yeah, it's so scary. Ooh. Oh, wow. Ooh, I didn't expect that. He jumped out at him. Oh, look, he's chasing her with a knife. Oh, she fell down. Oh, she's getting chopped up. Oh, look, he took the knife and pinned her to the wall with it. Look, that's something else. Woo! Yeah, after the third Friday the 13th, I was done. I was tapped out. I was done before Nightmare on Elm Street came out. That's why I've never seen Nightmare on Elm Street in its entirety. I saw bits and pieces of it. I was like, oh, this is a funny horror film. This shit ain't even scary. And Carol says, no, we always went to the uptown to see shows. Well, ain't you? Went up to the uptown, huh? When they go see these acts perform, huh? You went to go see Temptations and stuff like that, huh? Yeah, wow. Look at you. Weren't you so lucky? You went to go see live shows, huh? Upcoming soul acts, R&B shows, huh? Up close and personal, huh? Well, before it became the new tech, huh? Well, look at you. Aren't we just the experienced veteran in this game? Yeah, the last act I remember at the Uptown for us was like LL Cool J. The new tech was about to be shut down. Okay, Care Bear says, they only took me on dates a few times. I realize it says sates, but I know you mean dates. They only took me on dates a few times because I bribed them, even though I knew that I wouldn't say anything. You was manipulative back then, huh? Manipulating people older than you. Well, look at you. Yeah, I bet you to this day you'll probably deny that you manipulate people now, huh? I bet you will. Yeah, I bet you will deny it. But you started at a young age. Maybe you tapped out like I did with the horror movies. Like, I'm not manipulating people no more. I've been delivered. I've been delivered. I would never manipulate nobody no more. Anyway, my brother from another mother, Narsil, says, yeah, I got to go where I was laughing at. I got to where I was laughing at horror flicks. Yeah, after a while, they just don't hit no more. Like, where's the creativity? Carol says, it was near my house. Yeah, it was. You did. Yeah. That was a walking distance for sure. Hung out at Carlisle. Hung out on Carlisle Street and saw them after the shows. Yeah, I guess, yeah. This is on Broad Street. Carlisle is exactly one block behind. Runs the length of Broad Street, too, from South Philly. Yeah. Well, aren't we knowledgeable how the city is set up? You just knew exactly where to go when they came out. Very strategic of you there, Carol. Aren't you just an experienced veteran, like I said before? Just experienced. Oozing out. Carol says we knew where to go, Omar. Well, you sure did. You sure did. But yeah, so not talking to your brothers and sisters can involve a whole lot of circumstances. Like I said, having a death in the family, funeral arrangements, you know what I was thinking about the other day? You know how people say that such and such wasn't invited to a funeral. And when you think about being invited to a funeral, you don't really think about that in terms of what it really is and what it's saying until you are actually there. Like, no, I don't want such and such coming to the funeral. They didn't love or like or do somebody right when they was there. So when they were alive, so they don't get a chance, or they don't deserve the chance to come and pay their respects. They can pay their respects to their memory, but that's it. We don't want them around here. They ain't sitting in the front row. I saw a documentary about Diana Ross, and he was saying how this was Gladys Knight talking about how grimy Diana Ross was, but they went on to talk about how at Flo Ballard's funeral, how Diana Ross pulled up in a limousine and stole all the thunder from the deceased. How she sat in the front row next to Flo Ballard's husband and took his daughter, their daughter, Flo Ballard and her husband's daughter, and sat her on his lap for a photo op. So you know how small Diana Ross was, and this daughter wasn't no little girl. She was a little girl, young girl, but she wasn't little. She was almost as big as when you see the picture. Well, with this girl on Diana Ross's lap. Like, yeah, take the picture. And that's one of the only pictures from the whole funeral. She turned it into a photo op, and people were saying things like, she stole Flo Ballard's fame from being in the Supremes, and now she stole her from even starring in her own funeral. And that's how people felt about it. Well, you might have somebody in your family, or maybe one of your brothers and sisters who did something like that, where if your brother or sister is narcissistic, and I hate to use that word, but in this case, I would have to use it, or if they were that self-centered and seem to be oblivious to the way that they affect people and think that they are the type that does no wrong, because some people really don't see fault in the things that they do. For some reason, they have a mental block on the things that they do being wrong. As long as it suits them, they just roll with it, and you can't tell them nothing. But if you've had a brother or sister who did something like that, and you may have really resented it, that might be one of the things that made you stop talking to them. Like, you know what? It's over. You know what I mean? I'm getting my number changed, and I'm not giving it to them. And nobody that I give it to in this family better not give it to them, because if they call me, I know that one of y'all gave it to them. It be like that. Carol Chambers says, sounds about right for Diana Ross. I know, right? That's the crazy part. She says, I'm from down north. I do know. Carrie says, they were mean to me sometimes. For shame. Cherry says, I feel that way. I told my family, meaning my children, I don't want no one at my funeral. Oh, no one at my funeral that didn't care for me. Just because we're blood doesn't mean that we're family. Just because we're blood doesn't mean that we're family. Just because we're blood doesn't mean that we're family. I said, just because we're blood doesn't mean that we're family. Actually, it does. That's the exact thing that makes them your family. I understand the context in which you're saying, but when you really think about it, that's the one thing that qualifies people as your family, no matter what. But when we talk about brothers and sisters, growing up in the same house, sharing the same bed, fighting for the last frosted flake in the cereal box, like getting into fights over, yo, this is my favorite spoon. Yo, you don't have to eat with that spoon or that fork. Yes, I do. That's my spoon. I'm not eating my food if I don't have my spoon. Shit like that. Things like that don't normally tear people away from each other. Your acts don't always tear people away from you, but the way that people make you feel, that's the things. Those are the things that will separate you for good from some people. So when you think about brothers and sisters not speaking to each other, and you're getting older, you're already in your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, and y'all not speaking, and it ain't going to change, because after a certain amount of time, evidently whatever y'all were not speaking about kind of solidifies itself. For some people, they say, well, no, after this time, we got to get it together. All this not speaking to each other, that shit is dead. But there are times when they can justify y'all not speaking to each other anymore. Like, this is the reason that we're not speaking to each other anymore. And because all of this time has passed, it has confirmed that not speaking to each other is what we needed to do, because I don't miss them and they obviously don't miss me, but they know what they did and I know what they did. And we're going to keep that between me and them and just a few people who understand the gravity of it. But I'm good. That's my used to be brother. We used to be sister, but we can't speak no more. It's over. The door is what you need to hit. I ain't trying to hear that shit. No apologies, no reasons, no way you should have done what you've done. We will never have no fun with each other at family functions. If you come, I'm not coming. Now, don't even call me. Don't try to come around me. No, nobody understands how I felt. Nobody seems to care. So I don't come around there no more. If my auntie ain't around, I said no more. My favorite Uncle Johnny, no more. If my cousin ain't there, if she comes around there, I tell her to come around here. Because this is where you can find me. You won't find me around my family. They ain't behind me. They never been down with me. Been jealous from the start. And I ain't trying to tell that shit. It comes straight from the heart. I experienced what I did. And I ain't trying to be around the motherfuckers. Hola, El Havivi. Thanks for coming on through. Appreciate it. We're talking about the reasons that brothers and sisters stop talking to each other. Oh, he's speaking all Spanish. Wait a minute. Relajado, amigo. Okay. ¿Qué tal, mi hermano? ¿Qué tal, mi hermano? ¿Cómo estás? ¿Cómo estás, mi hermano? All right. Muy bien, gracias. Sí, ¿y tú? No. Estoy bien. También. That's the word. You're going to make me brush up on my Spanish. Estoy bien. También. También. Bien. Okay, but it says I have a cousin who I grew up in the same house with, who I consider a sister. We spent 13 years not speaking. Whoa. And that definitely is sibling worthy. Sometimes you have a cousin, you have a cousin who was more like a brother and sister than maybe even brothers and sisters were. Now, cousins count. And you know what's really bad? When Y'all are so divided, you and your brothers and sisters, you and your blood brothers and sisters, your siblings, and y'all divided on cousins. And let me explain to you how you can be divided on cousins. Not having the same dad, not having the same mom. No, that's my cousin. That ain't your cousin. Yeah, but we brothers and sisters. We brother and sister, and that's your cousin. Yeah, that's your cousin. But your cousin was always around the house, and I was just as cool with them as you were. Yeah, I know. But you know how it go when you be mad at your brothers and sisters. You start claiming everything. No, we ain't got the same cousins. That's my cousin. My dad is my dad, not your dad. My cousins are my cousins. Now, when you get to that point, you are mad and trying to hurt feelings. Now, what you're saying might be true and it might even be justified. But you are going for the juggler now. Yo, gracias. Gracias. Thank you so much. He says, soy nuevo sub. Yes, he subscribed. He subscribed to the channel. I appreciate that. Muchos gracias. Es apreciarte mucho. Okay, but it says because she lied on me, and evidently that lie was severe enough for you to take it to the next level, to where you like. But yeah, once you start, claiming cousins and and my grandmother ain't your grandmother either. Yeah, she might have fried you a little chicken. She might have piled some greens, mashed potato, and gravy up on your plate. Hooked up some buttery corn on the cob. Hook you up some cornbread. You might have done a few things. You know what I mean? Threw a slab of ribs on the grill, invited you around the wing, even got you your own little folding chair at the cookout. But that ain't your grandmother. That's my grandmother. My grandmother. Get your own grandmother when you find your own father. You lying, stinking, backstabbing, jealous-hearted bitch. Speaking of lying, stinking, and jealous-hearted bitch. If you grew up with your brothers or your sisters and y'all was battling over girls or battling over boys, one of y'all did something real foul, tried to hit on one or the other's, girlfriend or boyfriend, or actually went as far as to have sex with. As dirty and as Maury sounding as it is, shit, ain't nothing new. It has happened. It has happened plenty of times. Well, I liked her before you liked her. I stepped to her before you stepped her. You stole her from me, and it's easy. It's easy for you to try to. It can be easy for you to just try to write it off like it ain't no thing, but it ain't that easy. It's real shit. It's very, very real. Well, my husband liked you before he liked me, or he liked me before he liked you, or liked us both at the same time, and I ended up with him, and maybe you feel some kind of way with her about it, or my girl liked us both. You was dating her first, but she never liked you. She really wanted to get with me, and she told you that, so we went out, and now we together, and we got a baby on the way. Baby come out, and it's your baby. Woo! Carol says, can you steal someone who doesn't want to be stolen? Stealing a boyfriend or a girlfriend is all about perception. You know it and I know it. Having someone stolen from you or you being stolen from somebody else is all about somebody else's perception. Normally the person who was stolen from. That's how they feel. That's how they feel. And no, a quick answer, quick, accurate, I believe, answer to your question is no. You can't steal somebody who wants to be stolen. But we also have to look at it a little bit deeper. We can say that you can't steal somebody who doesn't want to be stolen, but you can also influence somebody and some people say seduce, but some people say, okay, like, all right, let's say that it was a situation where you are a woman and you found both brothers to be attractive. I mean, they look alike. They favor each other. Maybe one is a little taller than the other. Maybe one is a little bit muscular than the other. Maybe one dresses better than the other. But they're both pretty good looking to you. As a woman, maybe they both are good looking to you. Well, one of them got with you, but you would have taken either one of them. It was like eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a picker, And maybe the two of them decided that whatever one step to you was going to persevere, and if that didn't work, then the other one would step in and see what happens. Okay, so you already had an attraction to either one. Well, what if one of them gets slimy, the one that you didn't go with, the one that you didn't get with, the one that didn't step to you? And what if he's backdooring his brother? Like, listen, man, and we brothers. My brother ain't gonna be mad if you know what I mean. Plus, he ain't gotta know. You know what I'm saying? Let me touch a little something, feel a little something, hold on to a little something, hug a little something. You was already attracted to him. Now, had he not showed interest in you, it wouldn't have been no thing. But he did, and you might be young, so you don't make well-informed choices. You really thought that you could get away with. You thought you could get away with dating both of them, messing around with one of them and the other one. He ain't gonna tell what. He gonna tell his brother. He gonna tell his brother that me and him are messing around. That ain't gonna be good. You might have made a bad choice. So in that way. All right, okay, and so you start messing around with with his brother, but now his brother is starting to like you more, as much as your man or your boyfriend. Now he pressing you to spend more time with him than his brother, and he might be pressing you like, listen, you need to cut it off with my brother so me and you can be together, because I'm ready to tell him what's going on. You've been robbed. The brother, the innocent brother who don't know about this extra boyfriend affair, he got robbed. So she didn't come in it to be stolen, but she allowed herself to, she didn't scream and yell when she was being abducted. Who's wrong? All of them. Well, at least 2 out of the 3. So, yeah, they made their own decision, but the decision was very much influenced. Nara says it's definitely over when it reaches a Jerry Springer low level. True. Dirty NGR says you can. It's called slavery. Slavery? Thanks for coming through, Dirty NGR. I appreciate you. Carol says, I guess she got caught up. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, you probably wouldn't allow that to happen because you probably thinking down the line like, there's no way I can come out of this looking good. Everybody doesn't think like that. They think like, well, they say you got to do what you got to do for love. I did it for love. And then that brother winds up cheating on you or breaking up with you or not respecting you because he ain't trying to diss his brother all the way. He was just trying to get his dick wet a little bit, and he did. But then he realized, like, shit, I'm going to be just like my brother in a minute. She did it to him, she'd do it to me. You got played. But that might be the reason that those brothers not talking to each other to this day, because he might have really loved you. Like, I can't believe my brother did me dirty like that. I can't believe he backdoored me like that. I can't believe he treated me that way. I can't believe he disregarded my feelings in that way. He might have never got over it. That shit could have happened when y'all was like 17, 18, 16, 15, 16, 17. You know how sensitive young boys are. 14, 15, 16, going through puberty, all kinds of crazy hormones racing through their body, you know, being overly concerned with being exclusive. No, this is my girl. You do what I say. You know what I mean? Being possessive. You don't know why. You young. All you know is I gotta hold on to what's mine, because somebody is always coming around here trying to take what's mine. And y'all still living under the same roof when you 14, 15, 16 years old. Things might have been different, maybe even more severe had y'all been in your 20s or 30s, because the consequences might have been much deeper. But this can be one of the reasons why siblings aren't talking to each other. You know, with women, a chick, a young girl get with a dude, and that dude trying to mess with her sisters, her girl cousins, everybody, her girlfriends. He a grimy dude, grimed out. But instead of y'all fighting him and fighting against him, y'all fighting against each other. You knew better than to mess around with him. You know how I felt about him and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I did know how you felt about him. You ain't feel that great about him. You ain't like him like that. You told me. You told me that you was thinking about breaking up with him. So that gave you the green light to go ahead and speed up the process. I was mad at him those times I told you I was thinking about breaking up with him. You know I wasn't going nowhere. Me and him have been together. We've been together half our lives. 8 months. You know how, and a young girl, you young, that's 8 months. You know how long that is? You know how, that's like dog years. 8 months when you like 16 years old, that's like a whole school semester. That's what it's like. It's like a whole school semester, yo. 319-527-6199. If you want to call in and speak on the show, 319-527-6199. Also, make sure y'all hit the like button. Make sure that y'all share the show. Make sure that y'all subscribe to the channel. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, this is the Urban Therapy with Sun Show. I'm your host, Sun752, and we're talking about the reasons that brothers and sisters stop speaking to each other. Why? Why are we brothers and sisters and we not speaking to each other? We disunited and we can't fight it. Nobody is coming through and nobody got invited. It's just me and you and us. And I don't want to hear no one of us talk about how we should make up with none of us, because now it's a real problem that came on through when you don't understand how we was and how we do, but it ain't going to change no real time soon, because I'm mad at the motherfucker and he's a goon and he's always been a problem since we was young, and I tried to put up with that shit, but I'm no longer strung to this string band and things that we had, and I'm not going to talk to that man. I'm finished. Totally finito. Fuck that motherfucker. You know how he go. Not speaking to a brother and sister. Sometimes it can get even more sinister than romantic things. You could be not speaking to a brother or sister because of what they did to somebody else that was close to you. We can take it back to the funeral thing. Maybe you feel like they didn't treat your mom or your dad or somebody else right before they passed. Or this one. And a lot of us experienced this in the 80s. We grew up with each other. We were brothers and sisters. We were close. One of us got on drugs, fell victim to the crack era. So that brother and sister, that loving, intelligent, wonderful brother and sister, the talented one that I had grew up with and loved so much, I was trying to help them get back on my feet. I'm sorry. I was trying to help them get back on their feet, let them in my house, and they stole everything out my house. Stole everything. Stole my jewelry. Stole my TV. Stole my VCR. Stole my records. Stole my tapes. I mean, they stole shit that you just don't steal. Here it was in the middle of the summertime, stole my goddamn air conditioner out the window. I came home. I came home. It was sweaty, 95 degrees when I came home this day in the summertime. I couldn't wait to get into my room and get under the AC. I pull up to the crib. I don't even see the AC in my window. I'm like, what the hell done happened? I get in my room. It ain't no AC. He done stole the damn AC out my... This might not have been the first time that he stole. But he got a problem, or she got a problem. And it's not being fixed, and I'm trying to help him because we have this history. We are brothers and sisters. I love them, but I can't, like, the thing... Stole my daughter's shit. Stole my daughter's Barbie dolls. Pawned my daughter's Barbie house, Holly Hobby house, Barbie car. The kids, it was Christmas time. He or she stole the Christmas presents from under the tree. From under the tree. I came from a Christmas party on New Year's Eve. I got home to the crib where the presents under the tree was gone. And the stores are closed. Messed up my baby's Christmas. And on Christmas Day, they nowhere to be found. They somewhere getting high out there. Things like that will cause brothers and sisters to stop speaking to each other for good. Even after they get clean and confess and apologize. Like, nah, I ain't trying to hear that shit. And you wasn't on drugs that much to where you had to do those things. You did them. And you knew what you was doing. And you did it anyway. Always disappearing after you did some foul shit. I will let you back in. But after you did that did it. You can steal from me, but don't steal from my kids. You can steal from me, but don't steal from my kids. I said steal from me, but don't steal from my kids. I can never forgive you for what you did to you. You steal from me, don't steal from my kids. They too damn young and don't understand that shit, son. So when you violate them, you violated me times two. And here's what I'm going to do. Get your shit beat out my house and don't ever come around here or even think about getting in there. Yo, don't darken my doors. I might pull out the 4 and blast your ass. I ain't trying to hear the family tell me that I shouldn't have done it. But yo, you run that shit. You ran my shit. You took my shit. Necklace, bracelets, rings, and all those things. And that things cost money. I worked real hard. And you took that shit and my heart was scarred. And I better not see you around here no more. And don't call my phone no more. Damn, Carol, I didn't even see that. She says, man, that hits home for me. They start with little things that you don't miss easily. Yes, they do. Yes, they do, Carol. Little trinkets. They might sell your little elephant statues that you got in the crib. What's this? A test steal? Well, she ain't noticed the elephants on, that go on the coffee table. Because maybe you work hard. Maybe you work in 2 shifts. You come in the house. You ain't looking for your little elephant statues. Black woman. You ain't looking for your little elephant statues on the coffee table. Or you know how you row homes are or whatever. You might put them on the. How you have the last step of the stairs going upstairs. The last step has the little round part. The first step. Or should I say the first step is a longer step than the rest of the steps going up to the second floor, and you might have had an elephant statue right there. You're like, what happened to the elephant statue? These kids been playing around with these elephants. Mommy, Daddy, we ain't do that. We ain't do that. Your aunt or your uncle that lives down the basement. They got that goddamn elephant statue. They done stole the elephant statue. It's an elephant statue. Maybe it was made of brass. They got that bitch melted down and made of brass. You went to go take a shit, take a piss, wash your hands, and how come this water ain't working? I know I paid my water bill. Why ain't the water working? You look under the sink and boy, you saw a sight that you ain't never thought you would see in your life. Your damn brother, your sister done stole the pipes out. He done sold the copper pipes out your. This motherfucker done stole the copper pipes out of your house. You gotta get your whole house replumbed. You go down in the basement like, what the fuck? Yeah. I'm sorry for any and everybody that I may have offended with some of the stories that I've told. But these are some of the things that'll make you stop talking to your brothers and sisters for good. Like, that's it. That's it. Carol Chamberlain says, had a check stolen out my my checkbook, went all the way to the back of the checkbook and forged it and didn't know till the check bounced. And you noticed they knew to go all the way to the back of the checkbook. Like, you know how the checks start off with like 101, 102, He went all the way to 168. Yeah. Care Bear says, mind you, he is only 4 years older than me, and we grew up together like siblings. Wait a minute, I gotta check what you said first. Care Bear says, Carol, my uncle stole my ivory elephants one. The nigga stole the good luck out of your. He stole the good fortune out of your house. He stole, elephants are a symbol of good fortune, especially in a black woman's house. He stole the blessings out your house, the good fortune. Now, because he took those elephants out of there, now a natural disaster has the green light to drop a tree on your porch and fuck up your whole porch roof. Now you're gonna get a leak in your ceiling. Now your refrigerator is gonna break down. Now your washer and your dryer not gonna work. Now your basement gonna get flooded. He stole the good fortune out of the house. Your child is gonna flunk their first class and maybe their first grade, and it's all your uncle's fault or your aunt. Don't fuck with those elephants. I'm serious. Don't fuck with the elephants in the crib. You see elephant statues, little fixtures, and you know what I mean? You don't do that. You don't do that. No good. Gabriel says, I was so disappointed. I don't blame you. I'm not kidding. Kevin says, yep, I collect elephants. He took jade and ivory. Oh my God, you had jade. Insane, Care Bear. Just don't take something of no value. So you might have started off with ivory elephants. Next thing you know, you ain't got no pipes in the house. You got to fill up buckets from the water service, from the meter. You got to the recycling place, they don't give a fuck. They don't question those crackheads about like, yo, where you get all these pipes from, man? You stole all these pipes out somebody's house? No, they was demolishing the house, so they said we could take whatever we wanted to. I ain't take that. Nah, man. I wouldn't take none of. I wouldn't take no pipes out of nobody's house. I don't steal. No, they was going, put the wrecking ball on the house. So we just took whatever we want. I mean, shoot. I mean, why let it all go to waste? Why let it all go to waste? Now, how much we gonna get for this? Because I got some more. Because it was an apartment building. They taking the pipes out. I mean, they demolishing the whole building. It was the projects. They demolishing the project. They Raymond Rosen. They taking the projects out. The housing authority lets you go in there and take the pipes out of a PHA house. Listen, I got the pipes. I told you I didn't steal these pipes. The Lord gave me these pipes. All right. Yeah. We about to get on the body here, y'all. I want to thank y'all for coming through. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Make sure that y'all share the show. Make sure that y'all subscribe to the channel. Let's do these birthday shout outs. We have some birthday shout outs to do. Some people were born on this glorious March 2nd, and they deserve to be acknowledged. So let's go about our business of acknowledging them and making them feel special because they are special, because they are special, because they are S-P-E-C-I-A-L. They get the R-E-S-P-E-C-T. They are S-P-E-C-I-A-L. They get the R-E-S-P-E-C-T. They are S-P-E-C-I-A-L. They get the R-E-S-P-E-C-T. They get number one out the box, Meek Brown, Brown, and also, she's turning 49 years old today. And also Angelique Marshall turning 46 years old today. And Angela M. Segura Santana turning 33 years old today. And Erica Johnson, happy birthday to you. And Candace V. McGill turning 51 years old today. And Robert J. Hale III turning 35 years old today. And Mary Derry, go get her, Mary Derry. Happy birthday to you. And last but not least, Carolyn Tate Small, turning 76 years old today. I want to say happy birthday to all of y'all. And I hope that today finds you all in good health, happiness, mind, body, soul, and spirit. And that goes out to each and everybody born out there on this glorious March 2nd, anywhere out there in the world, worldwide, internationally, and universally. All of y'all go ahead and turn up. But don't turn up too loud. Just turn up loud enough so everybody can hear you. Rock out. Rock on and do the damn, rock out. Rock on and do the damn, rock out. Rock on and do the damn thing, you do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings, you do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. Good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind, and anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours, and remember, brothers and sisters, stop talking to each other. It's normally a serious situation. Sure, some people can be petty, and some people, we didn't even talk about mental illness where you may have not wanted to have stopped talking to somebody, but they may have stopped talking to you because, unfortunately, dementia started kicking in at a young age. Depression started kicking in at a young age, and all kinds of mental and emotional disorders can disrupt the family dynamic and have y'all not being on speaking terms and not even being on understanding or good communication terms. Hopefully that hasn't happened to you or yours on that kind of level, but it can. So we all gotta, do our part to try to take care of each other, man. I want y'all to have a great day. No exceptions. Peace to all my day ones, my everydays, and my brand news. I love y'all to death. Resuscitate y'all. Love y'all right back to life. We will be back tomorrow afternoon for another Urban Therapy with Sun show. So make sure y'all come on through because I'll be here. So Blog Talk, we gonna get you out of here. Yeah. And for my YouTubers, you know just how we do, but thanks for coming on through. See ya on the other side, my boobas 1, 2, on the other side, my boobas 3, 4. Yeah, you're the best, my boobas. Peace, y'all.